What's up guys, DuArktik here with another Marvel Strike Force video, and in this video we are going to talk about ISO 8 Blue level 4, and we are going to take a look at the top 10 best characters for you to invest ISO 8 Blue on. We are going to take into consideration where these characters are used on, and of course the more places where they are used, the more value we will have for this very rare resource, at least for now. And it's going also to be important to know exactly which are the best stats for each specific character and for their abilities in order to see if it's going to be worth investing the ISO 8 Blue level 4 or not. So like always, if you like the information on this video, make sure to share it with your friends on Facebook and Discord. If you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe for more Marvel Strike Force content, and make sure you smash that like button. And also let me know if you invested in any other character apart from the 10 characters that I'm going to mention. I've heard that some people invested on Quake and also on Karnak. Those are a few alternative options, but they will definitely not make this top 10 list. Okay, so let's get started. And the best way to start is mentioning what ISO 8 level 4 Blue does. So whenever you activate this level of ISO 8, you are getting additional 10% max health, 10% armor, 10% resistance, and also 10% focus. The focus is actually the best part of this tier of ISO 8, because so many characters struggle with ISO 8, so getting this additional 10% focus is going to be crucial for many of the things they do. Okay, so the first character that I want to mention in this top 10 list, and it's no particular order, but it will depend on where you are in the game. Some of the characters will have more value than others, but we'll mention that at the end of the video. So the first character I want to mention is Omega Red. Omega Red is a very important character that applies a bunch of negative effects with his abilities: offense down, slow, ability block, heal block. So those are very important negative effects that we want to apply. And he is not only good in Alliance Wars, he's also good in Cosmic Crucible, in Dark Dimension, in Avengers Tower, some cases in Arena as well, and finally definitely in raids. Very important in raids, and that's one of the best places where the additional focus will come into play. In raids and in Alliance Wars, having this additional focus is very important. So he is one of the best characters that you have to apply ISO 8 Blue level 4. Okay, so now let's move on to the next characters, and we have Dr. Doom. And Dr. Doom, while he doesn't have many negative effects, he actually has one very important, which is on his basic. If he is charged, he is able to flip positive effects to negative effects on the enemy. So it's going to be very important to have additional focus, so you are always able to flip immunities or defense ups into defense downs and disrupts. This is going to be very important. And also the additional HP from the ISO 8 Blue level 4 will also increase the health of the minions, which is important in game modes like Dark Dimension. And not only that, but the fact that Dr. Doom will have more health, that can mess up some players that were not paying attention. And you noticed this some time ago, because when you had a change of 4 red stars to 5 red stars on Dr. Doom, that became a big deal. And some counters that were usually good, then they were no longer good because of that additional stats. Now moving on to the next character, we have Morgan Le Fay. And Morgan Le Fay is probably the first character that you should give ISO 8 Blue level 4. And the reason why, it's like Omega Red. She is great on all game modes, but specifically on Arena. And the reason Arena is the best source for gaining cores. And as you guys know, many of the new events that we have going on in the game, they no longer require infinite amounts of blitz, but now they require an infinite amount of cores. So it's going to be very important that your arena team is as strong as possible. And Morgan Le Fay, she requires focus to apply most of her abilities or all of her abilities. The ultimate, special and the basic, all of them require focus. So it's going to be very, very important that you have as much focus as possible, and you can do that by giving her ISO 8 level 4. Now we have Dormammu, and Dormammu is another character that is going to be very, very important, once again because you are going to use him in arena. But as I mentioned before, Morgan Le Fay should be first, and then depending on your priorities, if you need Dormammu to be stronger or if you need Omega Red to be stronger for raids, then you are going to follow your priorities based on that. But Dormammu, his special does a stun, and then when he's charged he flips positive effects to negative effects on the enemies, so having him with higher focus is going to be very important. Whether you have him as a skirmisher, a striker or anything else, it's up to you, but he's definitely a character that is worth investing ISO 8 blue level 4 because he's going to have such a big shelf life in the game. Now we have a Jubilee, and now that we mentioned the 4 priorities or the 4 most important characters in the game, we are going to be in more specific situations of characters that would really benefit from some additional stats. And this is the case for Jubilee. Unfortunately, the Astonishing X-Men are not that great anymore in terms of raids and also in terms of some specific game modes. And Jubilee, she always had a problem with the focus, and she always has a problem that if she dies, her team falls apart instantly. So you really want to apply as much stats to her as possible, and giving her that 10% additional health, armor and focus is going to be extremely crucial for Jubilee, especially if you are using her daily in the Doom raids. You are going to see a huge improve in performance thanks to that. I can also mention another thing is that from your experience you probably know that Jubilee has a lot of problems applying this stun, and that additional focus is going to help with that. Also applying the blind, the additional focus is definitely going to help with that. Okay, so another character that we have here, if you are still using Ikaris in raids, if you are still using Ikaris in the arena, maybe it's going to be important to give him the ISO 8 blue level 4. That additional focus for Ikaris is going to be extremely important, especially as more Dormammus will become prevalent in arena and you are not able to use your own Dormammu. Then it's going to be very, very important for Ikaris to have additional focus on the ultimate. This is because you need to flip the immunity from Dormammu to Disrupt, and many times, especially if your Ikaris is small, at 5 yellow, 5 red, which was the free-to-play range, if you are in that situation, the additional focus is going to be super, super important for you to flip that immunity into Disrupt, and that will allow you to beat Dormammu quite easy. So Ikaris is definitely one of the top priority choices for the ISO 8 blue. Now Cersei is not here on this list because I don't think most of her abilities require it. Maybe if you are going to use the basic often, maybe if you are trying to use the basic in order to flip the immunity into Disrupt on Dormammu or some other specific situations, maybe she will also be a good character to do that. But right now I think Ikaris is a priority, and Cersei maybe down the line as the 11th character or something like that, she can also be another important character. So that's why it's like a honorable mention of a character that could also benefit from this ISO 8 blue level 4. Now we have Agatha Harkness, and Agatha Harkness, she is such an amazing character. She is so good in many fronts, especially together with Morgan Le Fay, of course. And applying additional stats to Agatha Harkness, health, armor and focus, resistance is usually not so important, but health, armor and focus is going to increase her survivability, and she is a very, very crucial character on her team. So you want her to stay alive as long as possible, and because she applies a ton of negative effects with her special, with her ultimate, because she also gives barrier and because she also gives healing. It's going to be very, very important to have as high as possible amounts of health and also as high as possible amounts of focus. So it's definitely a character that you should also prioritize, probably one of the top 5 characters. Okay, now we have some character that might be a little bit controversial, but that really depends on your perspective and that really depends on your experience with this character. Pryor is a very, very good character that can be plug and played anywhere. She is great, of course, with the Marauders, but you can use her anywhere. You can use her together with the Brotherhood, you can use her together with the Eternals, you can use her together with the Darkhold instead of Scarlet Witch. You can use her literally anywhere and she's going to be amazing. She applies tons of negative effects to the enemies, including heal block, which will cripple many of the teams that we have going on right now, especially the Young Avengers. And she does a ton of damage with her ultimate attack. Also, if the allies are below 50% HP, she will mind control and use the strongest ally to attack the enemy. So I have seen a combination of Pryor together with the Weapon X. That's also something very good, but usually more on the ends of the player rather than on the ends of the AI. But it's still a very, very legit option. So because she's not farmable, because she applies so many negative effects, and because you want her to live as long as possible, it's going to be great to give her more HP, more focus and more armor, thanks to the level 4 Isolate Blue. Now we have another character, doesn't have as much plug and play options as Pryor, but you can also use Kate Bishop together with the Young Avengers or together with the Secret Avengers. In both of those teams she's going to be extremely good, and she's another character that you want to survive as long as possible. She applies tons and tons of negative effects to the enemies, so having additional armor, focus and HP is going to be crucial for her to do her job the best. So she's definitely another character that you should invest in. She can also be used in Dark Dimension and in raids, so it's something that you consider down the line. Once again, this is a top 10 list of characters for Isolate Blue level 4. And that's it. So we mentioned all the characters. There is one character here missing. This is a top 10 and we only mentioned 9 characters plus an honorable mention of Cersei. But down here as the 10th place we should have Rogue. Rogue is coming next patch. She's going to be the next Horseman, and she's going to apply a ton of negative effects with her special. So it's going to be very important that you can apply those negative effects. So having additional focus, armor and health is going to be great for her. She's also a protector, so the armor and the health and also the resistance is going to be very important. So she is the last character here that unfortunately is not in the game yet. Now in terms of priorities, we mentioned the top characters. Now in terms of priorities, what I would prioritize first, I would definitely prioritize Morgan Le Fay first, then Omega Red because of his use in the Doom raids. Then I would prioritize Agatha Harkness. After that we can decide between Ikaris, Dormammu and Dr. Doom. I think they are somewhat on the same level. And beyond that, if you are done with all those characters, maybe you should focus on Jubilee to help you out getting your raids more consistently, especially if you don't have her at 6 red or above. And then for the niche situations, you can focus on Kate Bishop and then Pryor. So yeah guys, that's going to be the video. I hope you guys enjoy it. My top 10 best characters to invest the Isolate Blue level 4. Yes, I know Quake and Karnak are good options, but I would rather prefer investing in these characters. And Cersei, as I mentioned, honorable mention. And then down the line, maybe focus then on those other characters, Quake, Karnak, and so on. So yeah guys, that's going to be the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you smash that like button. And if you found the information helpful, make sure you share it with your friends on Facebook and Discord. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe for more Marvel Strike Force content. And I will catch you guys later.